Well, hello again, Charlie.
Hello.
We met last year when you did well with your film Electric Palace, and
Yeah,
now you've done well again this year with The Lost Ball. So, congratulations again.
thank you.
How do you, looking back to Electric Palace, um, how do you feel? How does it kind of compare in your memory with your work now?
Well, I think I'm a bit more experimental now because before I liked the story and linking like the screenplay to the story. But I think now I'm kind of experimenting more on the screenplay than the story. But hopefully, I think I'm gonna try and make a good start for next year.
Great. Oh, I should look forward to that. I think maybe you're experimenting stylistically as well, because I was very aware of um, you using quite a lot of perspective this time. You know,
Yeah,
the shots looking down at your feet, or not your feet, but the character's feet,
yeah.
and so on. Did you feel that was something new as well that you were bringing?
Yeah, well, I was trying to make it so you knew that it was in the boy's perspective rather than the person who was already in the house. Because if the person was in the house, then the boy, he doesn't really have a right of way there. Because he's just like broken and entered the house. So I'm trying to like kind of, I don't really know. It's showing which perspective the like films in.
Yeah, yeah. I understand what you're describing. Yeah, I think you've said it well. Yeah. Did you spend a lot of time with the soundtrack? Because there are a lot of sound effects and music.
Um, well, I did the film first, and then I tried to find some music to go with it. So it took quite a while, but I managed to find some music. So
And there were some really nice effects in the house.
yeah,
Because there was a sudden, to me, there seemed to be a sudden change when the spider webs appeared. Because that was a different approach to animation, or it felt like it to me.
yeah,
Is that what you thought? Yeah.
yeah. I was trying to like, well, it's the same again. I was experimenting with what I could do with green screen effects with animation, because usually you get them in live action films.
Right. So did you bring many new techniques into this film?
I'd say as much as I could bring in without it being too chaotic,
Okay.
because I tried a lot this time.
Uh-huh. And then did you pare it back down, or did you just say this is enough? I'll stop now.
I kind of planned it before I did it, but yeah, eventually it got to this is enough.
Right. Sorry. That was really funny. Did you like the fact that the story was like a kind of partly almost it felt like science fiction to me because of the time shift, um, as well as being a horror story?
It was kind of a strange idea because I wanted to like introduce something strange with something
Okay.
realistic. So the horror was like the realistic part to try and make it feel like it could happen, but the sci-fi was just to like introduce a sci-fi element into it.
Okay. Did it take you very long to actually draw the boy? Because he's got a very special face, I think.
Yeah, I'd say this film was the film that it took the longest to
Okay.
like make the characters and the backdrops,
Uh huh.
and it took quite a while, but it came as like the first idea to me that boy to draw. So
So you knew it was going to be a story about this boy before you knew what the story was going to be.
yeah,
Yeah, because he's got a very special style. I think, the way you've drawn him.
Well, I've been watching quite a few like anime recently,
Uh-huh.
so I kind of that's how I got inspired by it, the drawing.
Okay, great. And I think the other thing I'd like to ask is, I get the feeling that animation in particular has got more and more special to you. Can you say anything about why it's special and what it means to you?
I think it's just like it's kind of magical, yet like you don't get the same thing with live action as you do with animation, because live action is you're limited to what can be filmed and what could be filmed, rather than animation is what could be. It's just more creative.
Okay. So when you think about clubs and also about coming to a festival, does the age of the people in them influence you? Do you feel like, oh, this is only there for really old people? I know it's a bit of a blunt way to say it, but
Well, I don't really mind because I might look cool, but the truth is that I'm secretly a bit of an introvert. So I don't really mind if I hang out with older people, seeing as like I hang out with a lot of older people anyway, if that makes sense.
uh-huh.
So I kind of feel like I fit in more with older people than younger people.
Okay.
So strange way to put it, but
But I think you said to me last year, you mentioned going to is it the Leeds Youth Festival? I'm not sure if it's that
Leeds Young Film Festival.
Young Film Festival. So you go to that one as well, and that must have a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah, Leeds Young Film Festival. It's like, well, usually I'm on the older end of Leeds Young Film Festival,
Oh,
so I'm older than everyone else. So sometimes I feel a bit like old, but most of it's kind of nice because most of like the kids don't judge you because oh, he just likes films, so you know.
so do you think there's more for you to learn at a festival like this because it's not people that are all younger than you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to learn because I look at my film then and it's like, how is this entered like a film festival that's like so many people with better films are there? So it's like, oh, I forgot my question now.
It's whether it's more interesting or more useful to come to a festival with older filmmakers.
Yeah, I think because I see like the Hollywood directors and I see people that are slightly older than me and I see like what they could have done better so they were like a Hollywood director. So then I see like the differences and then I might try and find like amendments to them to see what I could do to make them better and then keep them to myself
Uh-huh.
for my ideas.
Yeah. Great. Do you think there's a difference, Charlie, in sitting with an audience and watching your film, or putting it out on the internet on YouTube or somewhere, and having people just find it or friends look for it and just give you likes? I don't mean just give you likes because it's great to get likes, but
Well, I think with film festivals is that if the film's like not as good, then you still like get a round of applause anyway because the person's there. So I think YouTube's a lot more free in what people want to do, seeing as it's more anonymous and you can't recognize people. So I think a like in a YouTube is a lot like worth a lot more than a round of applause because they didn't need to do that because they're just an anonymous person and they could be halfway around the world.
I
So
understand.
it's a lot more like nicer.
Okay.